Hey, do you want to level as fast as possible with the hardest class, at least in the leveling path in classic World of Warcraft? Hi guys, I'm Kryphus and I will explain you how you level a warrior as efficient as possible. Well, at first we are here on my own server which I created, and I just created this character, gave him level 60, rolled all his skills, and that's it. So he has no gear, nothing special about him. At first, let's have an order. I will explain you what talents you need, and then I will explain you the rotation, the gameplay that you use to level, and then some common tips. Okay, at first, the talents. You try always, I will explain the why later, you always try to have a very slow two-hand weapon. You get at level 30, can you do your warrior crest, and there you get an amazing two-hand weapon which you have most likely until level 60. No joke, the level 30 weapon that you get from this crest will you have until level 60, as long you don't drop a better weapon in dungeon. Okay, at first let's see how we skill. The important thing is to skill at first improved heroic strike, since heroic strike is that ability that you use until 41. So you use the ability like forever. At least it feels like forever. So get as many points and as fast as possible the points inside there that you can use it more frequently. The second one is to improve wind. Get all 3 points inside there, then you will need it for the next one. Now you can do whatever you want actually. I would prefer to have a few in tactical mastery, since you wanna since you wanna change your stances sometimes from berserker to defense to battle stance, whatever you need in what situation. So I would suggest you to have always at least 3 points inside there, that you have 15 wage points when you change your stance. What you do afterwards is up to you. You could do that the increase of range is increased by the charge, or deflection, that you have a higher parry chance. Both is cool. Just improved Thunderclap is totally useless, since you use it so frequently, so rarely, that you would just waste your points inside there. So I prefer to have one more, that I have 20 wage when I change the stance. So I give the last point inside the tactical mastery. Then the next thing what we want is improved overpowered and deep wounds. Since improved overpowered can we always use when, I don't know why I have no tooltip there, sorry. Can we always use when we dodge the enemy attack. Or where is it exactly? Causing instantly overpower the enemy, only usable after the target dodges. So the enemy has a chance to dodge my ability, or you hit, with exactly a chance from 6.5%. So you can use it very frequently. It costs you 5 rage, it is a huge amount of damage, so you want to use it. You can just use it in battle stance. This is the key point now. You want to stay in berserker stance, since you have 3% more crit rate, but you can use your overpower just in battle stance. So if you are very good, you switch between those stances always. To stay when you don't have the overpower ready in berserker, and when it's ready you switch back to battle stance. Of course, comes it then in handy if you have more tactical mastery inside there. And if you are not that good, or at least let's say you don't want to play that efficient and sweat driving, you can just play in battle stance. Yeah, as I said, it's totally OP, this ability, and let's make it more OP. Now it says closely 60-70% crit rate, the crit rate that we gave it with the points, and the crit rate that your character has. So let's get the other things in deep rounds, which is actually a debuff that the enemy has. Now we want to increase the critical strike damage with Impale, get the 2 points there. Next one is to have increased damage as long as we have melee weapon, two-hand melee weapon, which is our goal. I will explain later why. The next one is the axe specialization. I'm sorry, since this one gives us sometimes an extra hit. It's cool. This one is a stun. It's not very useful. And this is a increased critical strike hit, which is totally OP. So we want to get them. We try actually to have always the X after we have the specialization. And as I said, with level 30 you can have the warrior crest. You can do the warrior, start the warrior crest. If you are good, you can do and have perhaps some friends which will help you. Can you get the weapon with 31? Otherwise, you can get the weapon with 39 around there, since you need to kill 38 enemies. That's the issue with the crest. And there is the X. You get the X, Whirlwind X from there, legendary, and it's not. It is the legendary weapon. No, it's not really legendary. It's a blue weapon. But the legend about the Whirlwind X is because this X is so overpowered, and you will have it till at least 50, most likely till 60. So let's get back to the tree. So we want to have X specialization, that we have crit. We need sweeping strikes. Sometimes you can also use it, but but the important reason why we get it is because of the mortal strike. Now we can also do the two in two-hand weapon specialization, and now you have 2 points on which you can think about what you want. So those are all useless. You don't need them. This is also useless. So the only 3 things what you can think about using the points is those 3. Nothing else really matters to you. I prefer to have, not in tactical mastery, I feel quite good with tactical mastery with 4 points, but you can of course have 5 points there and even get the increase the time required for your rage to declare while out of combat by 30%, especially if you do a lot of PvP. In my opinion, it's not so important, so I want to have the 2 points in flexion. But I get the point why you want to have those 2 points to get anger management. So let's get Mortal Strike. Since we got Mortal Strike, can we also... Okay, we can't. I got it already in the maximum level. Can we also get this ability? And let's go back. We go to Fury and skill everything in Critical Strike with melee weapons, which is OP. Get it. So this is useless, since it increased the area of your shouts. This will increase the amount of the demolition shout that the enemy does lesser damage. Well, you use the shout like never. This will increase your rage generation. So get it. Now you can think about, perhaps you wanna, especially when there are a lot of enemy players in this area, you might wanna have Piercing Hollow, that you are stronger in PvP. It's up to you. This will increase your damage, and this would help you to get 1% health back when you receive a critical strike. Well, in my opinion, 1% health, it sounds cool to get sometimes then a hot, which heals you, but in my opinion, 1% is less. I rather have like 5% more damage, since the enemy dies then also a bit faster. This will I do with all my points. And then we get all... This is up to you what you actually prefer. I prefer the improved battle shout, since the enemy dies a bit faster, I do more damage. It's cool for my experience, and the enemy does lesser damage since he dies faster. So then we get Enrage. Gives you 5% melee damage bonus for 12 seconds up to a maximum of 12 swings after being the victim of a critical strike. Okay, so far so good. That is our tree. Now we wanna do something with it. Well, let's... Now I wanna show you how to handle this. First we need to take off our GM. And I need a weapon. Tele... I am Iron Watch. I'm sorry, I have no weapon. First we need a weapon, otherwise it's not possible. I know that I can give me some weapons, but I don't have a clue how I can do this. So we just try to find a weapon. If you don't wanna see me looking for a weapon, you can just... I have absolutely... I guess it was over there. You can just go forward in the video when we leave Iron Forge. There we go. Since I can understand that you don't want to see me searching for a weapon again.
I've the finest wares in the land.
Well, we can do this also. Don't tell me I don't have the weapon skill. Oh man, I don't want to do the war review again just because I don't have the weapon skill. Where do I get the weapon skill in Ironforge? Over there. That's the question. I'm very sorry boys, I totally forgot about that I need a weapon to show you how to play Warrior. No, it was there. There. At least we got the skill here. Okay, let's start. Tele Tanaris. So the plan is, the issue is what you want to face in the game as a warrior, that you are doing 0 damage and the enemy does a lot of damage. So I have no gear, but I'm not dying since I'm still in god mode. The issue is they are doing a lot of damage. I know that you are able to use plate, and mail, and you have more armor than other classes. Doesn't matter, the enemy still do so much damage that you are ass fucked. You need to sit down every around, I don't know exactly, depends on the enemy of course as well, every enemy or every third enemy, and eat something. So they do a lot of damage. And to avoid damage, we have a strategy. The strategy is that you use hamstring. This is why we use a slow weapon. You use hamstring until it works. Okay, let's say the enemy got hamstring, and while he's slowed by around 50 or 60%, by 50% you do a hit one way, and then you go again to him when your hit is ready. So you avoid his hits, but you do the same amount of damage against him. So every time when your hit is ready, you run to the enemy. And since we can slow the enemy, normally he's slowed by 50%, so let's just increase my movement speed by 50%. So we do a hit, run away. He can't hit you. He just can't hit you. And you wait until your hit is ready again, then you run in. Wait, ready, run in. Wait, run in. Wait, run in. So in other words, you do more or less the same amount of damage, and the enemy does lesser damage. His attack speed is faster than yours, but he's not in range to attack you. In other words, you decrease his attack speed to yours. And this is the goal. To slow him and give him then a hit. And when you got the mana, the rage, in early game you don't have any other ability that you could use despite except Rend and how we call Heroic Strike, and you can just use it in time. You don't need to go earlier inside the enemy or something, so you can just do this like I explained it. Afterwards, with level 40 or 41, I'm not totally sure about it, do you get your Mortal Strike. Where is it? Mortal Strike, the ability that we got over there, which is more useful than Heroic Strike. And here the same, you need 30 rage for it, and you don't have a lot of rage generation. So, in other words, it will take very long until you get the rage together to use the ability. I'm not totally sure, but I guess it was like 30 damage that you do generates you 1 rage. So it takes a while until you have 30 rage together. In other words, you will never come to the cooldown that you can't cast it through, since you just don't get enough rage for it. In other words, you got, let's say you got enough rage for the ability, then you don't need to run in instantly just to use it, since you have to wait, since you have enough cooldown that you can't use it all the time. Now do we come to the Berserker stance, to the overpowered. When the enemy dodges your attack, what you do sometimes, can you use your overpowered? Well, you need some practice to do this efficiently, since I'm not totally sure how long the cooldown, how long you can use it, but the time isn't very long. You can just use it for a few seconds, so you need to get used to it, that you are able to use it before you are unable to use it anymore. It's like 4 seconds or something. Normally it shouldn't be a problem, but perhaps you need some practice for it. Okay, furthermore, this was the basics. Furthermore, do we have? Enrage. Well, there is a little trick. When you sit down, wait, when you sit down, does the enemy for 100% a critical strike again? Let's sit down, critical strike. So what you want to do, you want to go for an enemy, like, give me a second, GM on, GM off. So what you're gonna do is you want to charge the enemy. Charge, come on, wait. Oh, I don't have hotkeys, could it be? Ah. So, charge him, sit down, get a critical strike, slow him, run away. Do your hits against him. Bam. This is how this is supposed to work. Right now I'm still 50% faster, normally it's not that easy, but you got the point. So this is what you want to do. You want to get a safe critical strike from the enemy to get your melee damage increased. And then you can do the deeps. If you want to do everything of it, depends on your playing style. If I would suggest it that you do also the sit down tactic. However, I can understand that this comes maybe like for a casual player at least, it's perhaps a little bit too tough or exhausting. But I would really suggest you to level with the slow. Slow the enemy, run away, and attack him just when the time is up. You can see this is a guy with 45 levels below me, and he does like normally 70 damage with normal attack. Since I have no armor and stuff, he does more damage, but normally he would do around 70-80 damage. So it's still a lot if you think he's on a low level. It's a lot damage that the warrior gets, and you want to avoid as much damage as possible so that you don't need to spend so much time to regenerate your mana. So please, please, please use this hamstring tactic. Hamstring the enemy, run away, and run in until your skill is ready again. Die. Furthermore, you want to have 2 weapons in your inventory, always. Since when an enemy disarms you, you can just click the other weapon now and use the other weapon instead. Then you avoid being totally useless with unarmed abilities. Now you have another weapon, which may not be as good as your first weapon, most likely not obviously, but you are doing way more damage than being disarmed. This is how to avoid disarming enemies. The same you can do, of course, when a player disarms you. Another tip is be careful with ugly debuffs. For example, here are enemies. Well, let's just go there. Tele un Crater. Some enemies are ridiculous, awful when it comes to debuffs. Let's go there. I will show you the worst debuff that I at least remind myself right now, which a warrior could get. Let's attack me, mate. Come on, attack me, guys. Come. This debuffs increase your damage, physical damage take for a half hour. Here we go. Physical damage taken is increased by 42%. Well, this means in other words you get always 42% more melee damage, which is a lot. You are as fuck. If you got such a debuff, which takes so long, you may want to die. Of course, you don't want to die when you want to die after you are done with this area, so you don't need to face the enemy again, obviously. And then when you have the time, and when you are close to Ghost Healer, the close Ghost Healer is here around there. Just kill yourself. Let yourself die. Just die. Let someone kill you, but make sure that you are close to the Ghost Healer. As close as possible is better. So make sure that you remind yourself where the Ghost Healer is. For example, here would it be the best when I would die around, I don't know where the first mob is, like around there, so then I don't need to move so far. However, by debuffs which last so long, does it make sense to do this? If you can, you should also avoid those enemies, obviously. If you are done with the quest that you need to do, the 2 quests over there, which you most likely are not able to do alone, by the way, But if you are done with those quests, make sure that you don't get a hit from them again. If they do a hit against you, you get the debuff as well again, and then you are, yeah, you're bad. You got a bad opportunity. So furthermore, we got those Venom Hive Warrior. Was it this guy? Yeah, there we go. Here's the debuff. This guy. I hope that we get the debuff since I have no hit. This guy. Oh, I forgot to. This was my fault. Doesn't matter. This guy has a debuff that he gives you poison. Got on mod speed 15. This is an evil debuff which is a dot against you, but this isn't the point. The point is that he has this, in the lore, he has this venom on his hide, and when you attack him, you have the chains to get this venom on your weapon. When you come to how's it called again? Sorry. When you come to the Enduro Crater, make sure to go at first. There are 2 quests that you can take. Alliance Horde doesn't matter. There are 2 quests, and then you can take 1 quest over there. And then make sure that you go in this area to get one of those Venom Hide Warrior, since they grant you a buff for your weapon, which doesn't fade when you die, for 9 hours, which will increase your damage, since now you do the same debuff than they do against enemies. This is super awesome. So in other words, where now I'm just unable to get the debuff since I have no hit rate, and you need to hit the enemy, of course, to get his venom from his hide on your weapon. But well, as I explained, you get the debuff for 9 hours, so it's a lot. Make sure to get it when you're in the area. Make sure to get it when you leave the area, since 9 hours is a lot of playtime. And this is it. I hope I could help you a bit. The most important thing what you need to get out of this video is mod speed 1.5 is that you use this tactic that you run away when you don't have your skill your melee ability ready, and move in when it gets ready. Most likely you won't have an add-on, swing timer add-on at first when you start playing the game. I also hadn't run until level 30 around, and I just did it with a feeling. It's not that hard to get a feeling for it. Even if you, I mean, you can move a little bit earlier in. Let's move in the next time at 0.4, and we still could attack him. 0.4, attack him. 0.4, attack him. So we don't need to exactly time the enemy, since he has such a big aggro range. The circle is the aggro range around, and we don't need to attack him at the start. We can also attack him at the end, and this is around 0.7 seconds or something. So you don't need to time it perfectly. Of course, it's a lot easier when you have a swing timer, but you can do it as well if you don't have. And that was it. I hope I could help you, and I wish you a good time in Vanilla World of Warcraft when it releases. Furthermore, perhaps when you do the block and the enrage tactic, so you charge in and sit down to get your safe critical strike, there we go, to get a buff. It makes sense also go for blood craze instead of battle shout, so that you always get 3% of your life back when you do this. And so this was the last hint. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you understand the gameplay that I tried to explain you, and we'll see each other in Classic and in my stream. Have a good day, subscribe to the channel, and I'm out.